Game of Mortgages 17 and 18, cash to close, wire your money in, kind of bonus round for you. We're combining these two together. So it's kind of related to cash to close, which is what is your total cash to close, and then getting it to escrow. And I'm calling this wiring in because that's our preferred method. And I'm going to break down kind of why in this video. So you can't really just bring like a suitcase of cash in to close. It's just, one, we can't verify that it's your money. Like there's no way that for us to prove that like the bills that you have in this suitcase was the same money that you had in your bank account. There's no way to prove that. And then most title companies won't receive or won't accept an actual personal check because usually there's holds on personal checks. We want verified funds like a cashier's check or a wire. Now, a lot of clients like to do a cashier's check. If you want to do a cashier's check, we can 100% do it, but there's usually a little bit of additional documentation that we're going to have to get in the form of bank statements. We're going to have to prove that the money came out of your account with either with a bank statement or a daily transaction summary. So again, we can do it, but I think, you know, our job, we have a lot of things that we do, but one of those things is try to make this as easy for you as possible with the least amount of documentation. Like I don't want to have to bug you for stuff, and you probably don't want me to have to bug you for stuff. So the preferred method for us that eliminates the most of the documentation and is usually the cleanest is a wire. So let's talk about the wire. With a wire, what's really cool is if I know you have the money, we just need to know that the wire came from you. So in a wire receipt, it typically lists your name. We don't really care if it came from a different bank account. We just need to make sure that it came from you. That's the cool thing with digital funds in a wire. It makes it clean. Now, the big thing on the wire is wire fraud is kind of rampant right now. So before you wire the money in, you need to speak with a lender to make sure that this is the correct place to send it. And then you also want to speak with a title officer to make sure that this is the place that they want to receive it. But again, wire is the best way to get your funds in. A couple of things I might throw out a little bit. So, and this is a direction of your lender, right? So like I wouldn't add this to all transactions, but you know, if maybe for one reason or another you're trying to get the wire in because, you know, you're going to go out of town or going on a vacation, we might ask you to send a little extra money. Not because we're just going to pad it and add more funds, but your funds funds to close can actually change based on the date that you close, because as a lender, we have to collect per diem prepaid interest. So if we think you're closing on the 16th, that could be one cash to close it, but if in fact you move it forward or push it back a couple of days, the cash to close could actually change. The last thing that we want to do is kind of come back to you for like $32 because of a prepaid interest change. So when maybe the close of escrow is a little bit up in the air, the lender may ask for you to kind of overfund the money that we need. All of that's going to come back to you after the close of escrow based on the way that you stated you want to get it, whether it's a check to your bank or a wire back to you. Usually the cash to close is really only needed 1 or 2 days before the close of escrow, but in some cases you can get it there same day. But it's not something that you need, like if you're in a 30-day escrow, you don't need it 2 weeks early. Obviously, talk to the lender that you're working with. They may have a different idea of when you should get the money there. But usually the money, like the final cash to close, is really only needed 1 to 2 business days before you close. Now, if you're trying to close on a Tuesday and you're planning to bring the money in on a Tuesday via wire, that's where sometimes it can bring challenges. So we like to try to get the money in a day or two before. If you have any questions about that, obviously reach out to your lender. But that's cash to close, and that's wire in. Make sure you check us out in the next video, which is grabbing the keys, funding the loan, and in the transaction. We're going to talk about just a couple things you need to be aware of. See you in the next video.